Hey guys, Moose here. Welcome back to another episode of Life as Feudal Forest Village. Continuing to expand. Got 15 of these right. Should probably go ahead and get those going now. Let's see, be under resources and the kill. 4, 5. We only needed 5. That leaves 2 here. We can put something there later. I'm not going to stress it too much for the moment. These guys are already working. That is good to see. Clothing is getting off the ground. We are going to need more hay very soon here. Love to trade for some. Don't think I'm taking that hide out of there. Yep, I wasn't. And I would sure love to get that wool. I'd like to have some more hay here. 5k is a little low. That's low enough that I'm going to wind up forgetting about it later, so I'd rather deal with it now so I don't have to later. So today, well, yesterday really, but today as in... Okay, that was probably confusing as hell to you guys. Today as in the day I'm recording this, yesterday as in the day before this goes live. So yesterday to you, today for me. I finally lost I lost monetization. Per that change that they made, where you have to have 1,000 subs and whatever amount of watch time. So we're there. It's February 20th or whatever. I honestly thought it was 28th. I thought it was the end of the month. Nope, it is not. So yeah, no more monetization for me. Not really a big deal. I mean, it's frustrating and annoying, and over the course of a year it makes a difference. It's kind of a weird situation. It got me thinking this might be... Well, I think this is reflective of maybe the amount of effort that I'm putting in. That doesn't mean I'm softballing it in and being lazy about this, though I think maybe I am a little. But I think that's more about me trying to hold myself to a higher standard than I might be able to achieve given my work schedule. But basically, I'm kind of looking at subscriber growth over the last, I don't know, month or two, which lines up pretty well with kind of how I changed doing YouTube stuff. It's not really growing a lot. Pretty much, like, I think in February I've gotten like 4 subs total. Net. I think gross I've had more than that, but people unsub too. It's a natural part of it. I'm not complaining about any of this, by the way. As I always say when I talk about this, I think this is the natural result of what I'm doing here. I need to get some new series going. I'm not really... I'm not doing terribly, but... You know, I kind of scaled back YouTube a bit. I haven't really had the energy to keep going like I used to. Things have been harder. I don't really know why things have been harder. I just feel like crap, which is scary, because, well... Yeah, I'll get in that a little bit here. This isn't something I'm going to give you all the details about, because it's personal and I don't want to get into this, but... I've had health issues in the past, and they have to do with energy level. And I'm kind of concerned that maybe I'm getting less and less energy because something's out of whack, which would suggest a reoccurrence of the issue. But I don't think that's happening. I think, I don't know, maybe, probably not depression. I don't really think I'm depressed. I think it's just... I don't know, maybe I need to unwind. Take a vacation. Hasn't really helped recently, but... I don't know if I'm more on edge or what, but I need to recharge, maybe. I'm doing a bit of that, I think, but I don't know. Life's stressful. You guys, I'm sure you know how it is. Your lives are probably more stressful than mine, so I shouldn't be complaining. But yeah, I kind of need to step back and redouble my efforts on YouTube, I think. I'm kind of starting to see... I'm in a weird spot because, to be frank, the things that I need to do in order to make Twitch really work for me, I don't really want to do. It would require a much larger time investment than I'm putting in right now, and it would also require basically playing stuff I don't want to play. So that makes it somewhat difficult, and I don't know what I can really do there. So Twitch is a weird, I don't know, it's a weird animal. I like the interactivity more. I like being able to directly interact with people, but whether I like it or not doesn't mean people show up to watch, so... And again, I'm not, like, blaming anyone for that. That's all on me. I gotta make the product good enough that people want to watch, and if I'm not doing that, then that's my problem. That's not anyone else's problem at all. So... I gotta figure that out. YouTube is much easier, I think, to hit kind of like... I think Twitch is... okay, so let me put it this way. Twitch is all or nothing. For this kind of content, it's really, in my opinion, all or nothing. YouTube, you can kind of do more of a slow burn and do fine. Because you just kind of keep putting out content, like I've been doing. And you grow. You know, I'm not really, I'm small, but I'm not that, I'm right on the brink of being monetized. Watch time, I'm knocking out of the park. I got plenty of watch time. The only issue is subs. So, it's not like, not that bad on YouTube, I think. But I gotta figure it out. I don't know, it's a weird situation. Twitch is much harder, for whatever reason. Kind of overshoot on builders here, we don't really need much else. $24. Yeah, we'll keep digging at clay. It's worth it, right? But yeah, so I think if I have 3 series running at any given time, with 1 series going long like Life is Feudal, even though, I mean, I don't know, we'll see, but Life is Feudal might be, it's getting there. I don't know. I should do some mod stuff and then call it, probably, but I don't really know how I want to handle that. But 1 series going long like this is, and then 2 series, kind of 2 slots, I guess, that sort of alternate, get like 20 to 40 episodes out of something and move on. Even that's a little bit long at 3 a week, a month or 2 of 1 game, and then switch that slot up. New one every month, I don't know, but that's hard. Dude, I gotta be honest with you, it's hard to find games that work. It's like I resisted the niche of town builders for a long time, but that's what you guys want to watch, it seems like, so. So I tend to go for that, but there's only so many of those. But like, there was a time I did like more than 100 I did like, I think actually more than 200 Did I do more Darkest Dungeon than I did Life is Feudal so far? That'd be insane. I think I actually might have. Shit, yeah, I think I did. Hey, I can swear now. They can't demonetize me, so it doesn't matter. No, I think I did. I think I actually did break 200 on Darkest Dungeon. That's wild, man. I've done more Darkest Dungeon than Life is Feudal, but those videos were getting like 2 views on the day they went live for a while, and like a long time. People were not watching that, so, you know, and that's maybe an example of a game that, you know, got a lot of attention on YouTube. It's not really... That's me jumping into a market that doesn't really work for me. Did I blow that? No, that one just isn't built yet. I thought I broke the line up there. So, you know, maybe that's not the right kind of game, but what is the right kind of game for me to play on here? If you got tips, feel free, but a lot of the tips that I usually see are like free-to-play, almost mobile games, and that's not really what I'm going for here. Like, I mean, I should have played more of Goblins of Elderstone before I did a series on that, but it looked good. I mean, in my defense, it looks real good. It just crashes, like, all the time. So there's not really a lot to be done there, unfortunately. That'd be a good game if it worked, though. It's a shame that it crashes so often. So that, you know, that was sort of what I was looking for. Looking for games like that, where it's like, okay, yeah, there's a full game here. You know, not in that case, because the game doesn't work, but you get what I'm trying to say there, I would imagine. There aren't that many of those. Planet Base is actually... I'm appreciative towards Planet Base for a few things. One, it did some things really, really poorly, and that kind of... doing that is like a good teaching tool, because it slaps you in the face like, look how stupid this is, look how bad it is. You can't help but notice. And it's a good teaching tool for game design, because anyone can look at that and be like, yeah, that's dumb. And I really enjoyed kind of picking it apart like that. But then, now, if you watch the playthrough, I'm on the ice planet, so when I started out, for the first like 5 episodes starting out, I was like, this sucks, this is terrible, why are they showing me 15-second uninterruptible, unskippable cutscenes? That's such a dumb thing to do, interrupting the gameplay like that. Oh, the starting out sucks because you necessarily have to build stuff that's not out of date, but inferior the second you build it, because you can't afford to make large buildings yet. Whereas pretty quickly after that you can make large ones, and you should always make the largest you can, in my opinion. There's no reason not to, other than resource availability at the very beginning. Like, there's so many little things in the beginning that are just terrible. The early game in that game sucks. But then if you look at the last few episodes, it's really fun! We got to the point where the game is just, you know, we're self-sufficient, we're getting resources at a timely pace. It's a fun game. It's really fun. I'm enjoying the hell out of it. That's a really good example of the kind of thing I want to play, because it's got some interesting lessons to take away from it, but it's also fun. I see why that game sells. I see why it's a good game in some respects. I don't know if I don't know if I should say it's a good game, because it has tremendous flaws with it, but it does some things really well, or at least well enough to be enjoyable, and that's great. I have fun with that. It does other things really poorly, and that's also fine. So, you know, that's what I like. And I guess maybe that's sort of Life is Feudal is another good example of that. Like, it very clearly took Banished and said, alright, this game was good, so let's take that and use it as a template. And then it botched some things, like the AI in Life is Feudal is kind of trash. And I think I have not found a town builder yet in which it isn't trash. The pathfinding is trash. Or, not really pathfinding, but more just the way it works is trash. Where we have someone working in this building going to this trade fair instead of this one. Which makes no sense, because if you actually travel in a line, this is it's infinitely, not infinitely, it's measurably closer. It's definitely, any idiot could look at this and be like, oh, that's closer. And the reason that doesn't work the way that it should is because it's a computer, and the computer doesn't understand this. It understands this. This is closer than this. Even though a child could look at this and say, well, that's stupid, it should go here. And that's the way it's programmed, and that's a flaw, I would argue. It's not a tremendous flaw, but it's still a flaw. Things like that are interesting. But then, under that, this is kind of a better version of Banished. And I think anyone that played Banished, your primary complaint's probably going to be that there's not enough content. And if you're looking at the market, you're saying, what kind of game should I make to make money? You make a Banished that has more content, but maybe sacrifices a bit in terms of quality. when there's no competition for that kind of game, pretty much, hell yeah, I think you're going to make some money off that. So this is, from a business standpoint, despite the issues I have with the quality of this game, there's definitely reasons to get this game. From a business sense, or business standpoint, there's choices in this game that make sense. Even if you could say, well, I wish it was higher quality. So, yeah, I don't know. I like that kind of situation, I guess. It's interesting, right? I think it's interesting. Okay, we got our hay. Probably should have dealt with that sooner, but whatever. Still got an okay amount. I think we had 2k, 2 point something when we traded, yeah. Seems about right, 2.9 maybe. Alright, we're good. But yeah, there's not a lot of games out there like that. Most games have been covered to death. So it's like either they're just bad. There's plenty of bad games that don't get coverage, but that's because they're bad. So it kind of misses the point there, but you know, what are you gonna do? But most things, like, hell, I can't even... Yeah, I look around all the time. I go through Steam, I go through various websites to try to find games to play. I find most of the actually good ones... Oh shit. Oh right, because of builders. Most of the good ones that I find because someone that I watch covered it. Not because, oh, I found this cool game, you guys should check it out. No, it's one of the other Let's Players or YouTubers or streamers that I follow plays it. That's why. That's the only reason I know. So, you know, it's not great, I guess. Or it's a fairly saturated market, so being... when the way in which you have to compete, I think, well, when I'm not willing to be the kind of prick that apparently gets really big on YouTube, the way that I can grow, to a degree, is sort of to find games like this, where it doesn't get covered, at least in the depth that I'm going to cover it with, I guess is the way that I'd put it. I don't know how fair that is, but that's how I see it. I think I probably was able to do something with Life is Feudal simply because I was persistent with it and just kind of stuck with it. That's kind of it. When probably a lot of other people wouldn't, I guess. For whatever reason. Many of which are probably good reasons. They have better games to play, they get them better views, I guess. Based on their fan base and their tastes. Which is valid. Not everyone's into the same thing, but, you know, people are interested in this kind of game, at least. I am. I would love to... This would be an interesting... Well, the series may be at 200 episodes that we're at right now. Maybe I wouldn't be interested in watching 200 episodes, but if I like the person, maybe. I'll still watch Northern Lion play Isaac, and he's like more than 1,000 episodes deep now, so... That's a little bit of a different animal, but I would like to see this kind of thing, because you know, if I wasn't doing what I'm doing, and I didn't know this game, I would want to know this game existed, honestly. None of the guys I watch would cover. They're too big to cover something like this. This is trash to them. They would never even think about covering this. Well, one of them would, but he's not into this kind of game anyway. But if you told me, like, hey, there's a game that's like almost identical to Banished, but with more content and lower quality, I'd be like, hell yeah, I'm all over that. Let me check that out. I wouldn't play it as much as I have, but I definitely would be checking it out. And I didn't know about this game until I saw it on Steam. This is like the one diamond in the rough, not even diamond in the rough, but like something in the rough that I found and been like, yeah, hey, I didn't know about this. And it's not that no one else knew about it. Plenty of people knew about it. Just no one that I was following. So, I don't know. That's the kind of thing that I gotta find. But my original point, which I magnificently have sidestepped completely, was that typically when I get subscribers, it's because something I'm covering had an update. And I'm not covering enough things for that to actually work right now. Like, the biggest bump I've ever gotten was when this game got released. God, this is taking forever to deconstruct. What's going on? You got almost 3 times as many people as you need for this. Come on, guys. Step up your game. But yeah, I need a moment like that again. And it's hard to manufacture those. Ooh. Get that rolling. Not that I have the manpower to start not throwing away, but throwing at this kind of work. Yeah, well, we'll be better in a year or two. So our population's gonna come back now that we have clothes. But yeah, I need another Life is Feudal. I gotta find another early access game that I can play for a month and have go 1.0 that not that many other people are covering, and get some new eyeballs that way. But it's so easy to say and so hard to do. We'll see what happens. But yeah, if you got any ideas for games and they're like meaningful games, let me know. The other issue is I don't get... Oh, yeah, hey, first key that I've ever gotten given to me that was like a game that I actually might want to play. I got that, so I will probably try to do something there. I need to try it out because it looks like the kind of game that might crash all the time, so I gotta see if it's actually worth playing, but maybe. So you might see something about that. I totally forgot about that. How did I forget about that? But yeah, that'll be the first game, potentially, that I will have ever covered where I didn't buy it. And most of the options I have, it's like 25 bucks for a game. I don't want to go around blowing like $75 a month on games I don't necessarily play outside of YouTube. It's a lot of money. For something that now doesn't make any money in return. Thank you, YouTube. But whatever. So yeah, anyway, sorry, I didn't mean this to be like a pity party. None of this is anything that I feel sorry for myself over. It's just the reality of the situation. I'm trying to think about what's the right business decision and what to do next. So, it's interesting stuff, I think. I don't know, people shy away from talking about this stuff. I think it's interesting. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's episode, so thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you'll join us in the next one as well. If you did enjoy it, feel free to come by twitch.tv/electronicmoose. Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, 6 to 8 p.m. PST, 9 to 11 p.m. EST. If not, thanks for watching here on YouTube, and I will see you next time. Take care.